All right. We are ready. Happy Tuesday. You're listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And first of all, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Appreciate all the feedback and love I've been getting from everybody. So I send you kisses and I say thank you so much. I have with me today, I'm always fortunate to get, as I call them, characters. Everybody knows I had Michael Prisco. That was, as John, Taglio would say, JT said he was my Gavone boyfriend.
Okay.
That's what he used to call him.
All right.
So when he went back to Florida,
yeah,
he said, "Do I have a Gavone boyfriend for you?"
JT said that.
Yeah, obviously.
Wait till I get a hold of him.
Right. Well, yeah, and obviously, I mean, it's a joke, but he was just saying, personality-wise,
right.
Because you and I, the minute we talked,
we
clicked
absolutely
immediately. So, you guys are listening to Gene Dinapoli, who is my guest this evening. So everybody say hi.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Likewise. We are here. I don't know, everybody who's listening on the radio. I just want to make sure that I think I sound good. I think I like it. Sounds good to me. I was having some issues on Facebook, so I'm trying to see where my feed is.
That's because of the tornado we're supposed to get.
Yeah.
It's screwing up the signals.
Of course. Do you know that every Tuesday something happens like that? I mean, I did a show, and all you heard was like thunder and lightning everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you. It was crazy.
Janet says you sound great.
See, thank you.
And my father just gave us a thumbs up from
right.
Lodi, New Jersey.
As long as Dad says we sound good, we're good to go. My father would tell me it didn't sound good, but no, that's a different story. So anyway, let's let all of our listeners know, like, who are you? Who's Gene Dinapoli?
Well, in a nutshell, I'm a 52-year-old entertainer from the Bronx who has lived his dream for close to 40 years now.
Wow. Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Maybe you should start doing some Bon Jovi.
After a couple of shots of tequila, why not?
Oh, you see, a man after my own heart. That's all I drink is tequila. I'm in love. Perfect. Well, that is a pretty awesome thing to say, right? Because if you live in the dream is all we can ask for, right?
There's two ways of living. One is for the money and one is for the happiness. And very few times in life do you get both. Yeah. So you have to pick and choose. I mean, there were points in my life, like I was supposed to go to Bronx High School of Science when I was a kid, and maybe I was into NASA and engineering, but it wasn't meant to be. And I had a lot of good in my life over 30 some odd years. So if I wasn't in the music business the way I am, it wouldn't have happened.
Well, we're all blessed to have certain things in our life, right? That we're grateful for. And
absolutely.
It is very true that it's not easy to do both, right? You can't always live the dream and pay you, but like everybody, like we were talking a little bit, I was a dancer, right. And it was like, okay, so what's your real job? Because unfortunately, most of the times when you follow your heart, your pocket is empty.
Right, exactly.
So it's like a tricky
it's
dynamic.
A slippery slope.
Yeah, it is a slippery slope.
I found that the key to this business is never living above your means. I could
That's the key to life, no?
Well, not really, because, I mean, if you're in a regular job and you get raises every 6 months, so if you buy a Mercedes 6 months prematurely, you struggle, and in 6 months you get a raise. In our business, dancing and entertainment, the raises don't come as often. So the key is when you make that couple of thousand in a week, don't go buy a Mercedes. Be happy with what you got. And I've seen so many people jump the gun and buy houses and buy cars and jewelry only to have to sell it a year later because things didn't go the way they should have.
Yeah. I see that. I wonder if the weather is causing internet issues, because I notice yours seems to be good, but I noticed that here I'm not connecting. Yeah, Is
Can you do a refresh, maybe?
Yeah, no, okay, we're back on here. I wonder, I think that we're having some internet issues because of, it has to be from the weather.
It's got to be.
Any of you here, I mean, I'm on my normal internet. Any of you listening, we're here in New York, and crazily enough, we're in Westchester County, and there was a tornado.
Yeah.
Watch or not? It was not. Was it a?
It's a warning. Yeah.
Was it a warning? It was like my son started to cry, like he was, a nervous wreck. It's.
Tell him to just watch The Wizard of Oz. He'll be fine.
Yeah, great. I know. Well, you know what? You don't normally hear things like that over here, so it is a bit like.
No, but it's been happening more often.
That's what I'm saying. Do you remember that when we were kids?
No, the tornado was when you came home with a B-. That's what the tornado was. When my father used to pay $62.50 for me to go to St. Raymond's, and I came home with a 66. And he would tell me, I'd rather put that money on a horse with 3 legs than give it to you to get a 66. I go, Dad, it's 1 point more than passing, but...
Yeah, which is great because my son will say the same thing to me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't have another organ to sell so I can pay for your school.
He's got to mow the lawn. He's got to shovel leaves.
That's still not going to pay for the freaking school. So, and then for him to, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do my homework. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I mean, and now speaking of which, now are you married?
I am, 20 years next month.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Now, do you have children?
I do not. I am the child.
You are the child.
I am the child of the relationship.
And if your wife was here, she would probably
she would have said it first.
She would have said it first. Okay, well, that's all good. Listen, look, I respect that. If you know that's your role in life, then better that you didn't procreate. You
know what? It just was never the right time.
Yeah.
And when things, we have a great life. We go on vacation. We're out to eat all the time, and
good.
I have a lot of nieces and nephews and godchildren, so I'll always go somewhere for Christmas.
Now, you know what, and that's what it matters, right?
Yeah.
It's all about family, and as long as you have other people's children and you can give them back,
right?
You're in good shape.
You pump them up with chocolate and soda, and then you tell their parents to come get them.
Right, or you get like the those really loud toys.
Oh yeah.
Right. The loud toys, like I think somebody bought my son a drum set.
Why?
I said, okay, you can take the drum set and bring it to your house and he can play with it over there. I mean, like really, and then they laugh and leave. And I'm like, yeah I'm going to break it into a million pieces. It's going to be in the backyard when you get here. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
People don't use their heads sometimes.
No, they do. I think they do it on purpose.
Oh, on purpose?
I think so. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but so now I know that when we started to talk, because you and I really just physically met today.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we talked on the phone. We knew it,
right.
It was
a lot of people, same people.
Right. We knew that was what happened, was that we both got connected by the mutual good people.
Yes, without a doubt.
All good people. They had a lot of good things to say about you, like I said, because, my Frank Sinatra guy left and they wanted to introduce us. And then I found out that you grew up in the Bronx.
Oh, yeah. Still there.
You're still in the Bronx?
Still in Frog's Neck, yeah.
Are you?
Well, my wife works at Calvary Hospital.
Oh, okay.
She's in finance.
Okay.
And it's just central to all my gigs. I could get to Long Island, Jersey, Connecticut within an hour.
Totally.
So it just doesn't make sense to go anywhere.
I got to tell you something. I mean, well, Frog's Neck from here is like on the other end of the world. But Frog's Neck is, most places in the Bronx, well, at least on our side, like where we grew up
a couple blocks.
Pelham, So where we grew up in like the Pelham Gardens area, every highway is right there.
Beautiful.
It's right there. I mean, honestly, sometimes it takes me longer to get. I'm further north, and it still takes me longer to get someplace now because of the highways and all that stuff. It's all over the place.
A few years ago, maybe about 12 years, my wife and I were looking to buy a house in Somers.
Uh-huh.
And then I had caught a sickness. I wasn't able to sing for about 2 years.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Thank you. So I wound up losing, a lot of income, and we never bought the house. So when we come home from like her mother's all the way out in Long Island, and we're right over the Frog's Neck Bridge, I go, if we lived in Somers, it'd be another hour.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know what? It's true. The same thing happens to me. Like sometimes I like to go out in Long Island.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I used to go out in Long Island
all the time.
Right. So now, like, it's true. You go home, you're like over the bridge, boom, I'm home. Right. And now I'm like, God damn it, I
another
have
20
more to go. I'm like, should I go to Dad's? Should I just go to sleep at Dad's? And then I say to myself, if I walk in his house at this hour, he's gonna think somebody's breaking in or whatever. He's gonna hear footsteps and have a canary.
So I'm still in the Bronx. I don't foresee myself leaving. unless I go to Florida or Vegas or, a drastic move.
Right. Well, but it's funny because growing up in the Bronx, like we just were talking prior to coming on the show right now, and we were talking about the neighborhood and stuff, and literally, and the fact that you and I, we had to have crossed paths.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because you were we were just talking about
the pizzeria.
The pizzeria, which was 3 blocks from my house.
Exactly.
That I could walk to because I didn't drive. I was the only one. I didn't have the IROC.
Right,
I didn't drive.
I'll tell you a funny story about the pizzeria. It's funny now. A couple of years ago, my brother and I were in a diner, and somebody was making fun of the waitress. So me and my brother decided to
That's not nice.
Straighten them out.
Okay.
So we wind up both getting arrested that night. So my brother comes out in like 3 hours, and he comes to get me, and they say, "Oh, no, we have a warrant out for your brother for 16 years."
What?
It turns out when I was hanging out in front of the pizzeria, I got a $15 loitering ticket that I never paid when I was 15 years old.
Oh, my God.
So they kept me in jail for like 3.5 days.
Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
And what did you loiter? What did you do?
We were in front of the pizzeria one night, and the cops wanted us to move, and I guess I wasn't moving fast enough. I got a ticket. I never paid it. 16 years later, I'm in jail, and it comes up, and they just kept me in jail for 3 days.
That is sick.
And then the judge said, "How do you plead?" I go, "I don't know what I'm here for."
Yeah, I got no idea.
He goes, "Loitering." I go, he said, "East Chester Road." I go, "Guilty." He goes, "Give me $50." I was like, 17 years, $50? Here's 100.
Yeah.
Don't bother me for the next 20 years.
I plead stupid. That's
I know.
what I would have pled.
But that was in front of the pizzeria.
Years old. Are you kidding me right now?
That was in front of the pizzeria.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's ridiculous. That's funny stuff though. See, this is what's scary to me as a parent is that when look at all the things we did growing up, right? I mean, now nobody hangs out in front of a pizzeria because who does that, right? You're on the internet. They're FaceTiming.
Right.
They're FaceTiming. Look, I'm eating pizza.
Right.
I mean, there's none of that. But if you think about that, like, it's crazy.
It's a different world.
But you did nothing wrong. You were standing in front. Come on.
Well, you know what?
All right.
You got to listen.
You got to
listen. You got to listen to the.
Fair enough. See, now your phone
now
went
I'm
out,
flipping.
and your thing. I don't know what's going on with this internet. I apologize if we go in and out, guys. Like I said, the weather here is a little bit crazy, and if we lose you, we keep jumping back. So we're with you. We're with you. Okay. So yeah. So now, do you find? I think that also, like, not to harp on the Bronx, but. Growing up in the Bronx, we were just talking about this. There was a lot of like that stereotypical, like we grew up in that neighborhood, that stereotypical wise guy Guido neighborhood, right?
Absolutely.
And I remember I used to go, like I never, like you had asked me where I hung out, and I said I didn't because, like you, where you were just saying before, When I was growing up, I was a dancer.
Right.
So I went to dance class after school every day.
Right.
And so I never hung out. And you said you used to do the same thing. That
we used to travel.
You used to...
used to go and play and sing in restaurants and parties. And
so you weren't on... so you didn't get the opportunity to hang out like that either?
No, not really.
It was less. But the Bronx was definitely a different... it was a different world. It really was. Like, sometimes I swear it was like from out of a movie. It really was. Sometimes it was from like out of a movie. Some of the places, and especially we were talking about one of the guys, and I won't mention his name. One of the guys that you hung out with, they used to wear the freaking the shoelace around his head.
But he looked good.
I heard he still does.
No.
Overalls and a shoelace.
Yeah, no.
Correct?
He doesn't do the shoelace.
Okay. All right. Well,
but he made it look good.
He did.
He made it look good.
It worked, but I couldn't help but laugh because it was just funny that he had a shoelace on.
You know, you say it's stereotypical, but it was the time.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You found those people in every borough, in every city.
True.
It was the videos. MTV was coming out, so you had a rock steady crew, and you had the break dance, and so it was a sign of the times. I mean, if you wore it today, it'd be stereotypical and it looked pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
It was a different time, though.
It was definitely a different time.
You're right. I mean, it was, all of life was different at that time.
You know, I tell my nieces and my nephews when I go on Tremont Avenue, I said there would be 200 cars, bumper to bumper, cruising the avenue. And they go, what's cruising the avenue? And I'd say, you used to go looking for guys and girls. And my niece goes, you didn't go on the internet? No, you didn't go. There was no internet with us. The internet was a net. It was nothing.
It's true. You know what's funny was that I was telling my son that we didn't. I was telling him when we first went on computers. Remember, it was via a telephone. The telephone thing.
Yeah, the dial-up.
And he was complaining. Right. So he was complaining to me that he had to look something up. And
Imagine.
I said, dude, all you got to do is talk into the phone and Siri looks it up.
We had Encyclopedia
I said,
Britannica.
We had to get a goddamn book.
We had to get the Britannica Encyclopedia.
Oh, please.
26 volumes.
Go to the library. That was even worse. The library. Never mind opening up a book. But now, I just want to remind you guys that you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on Miami Mike Radio.
That's her, guys.
Hi. And Gene has his Facebook Live. My recording thing is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, but that's okay. I know we have the live feed going on my page as well, so I will look at that too. So now, how long have you been an entertainer?
According to my mother,
oh God, it never starts right.
I would talk to squirrels and cats when I was 2.
Okay.
But I started, I guess, once I found Elvis on the television when I was 5 years old. I was always like a closet Elvis impersonator.
Uh-huh.
And but the first time I sang in public, I was 14.
Wow.
My uncle used to own a restaurant up here in Yonkers called the Lazy Bull.
Oh, okay.
On Central and Tuckahoe. And I went up there one night for my brother's birthday, and I got up and I sang After the Lovin' by Engelbert Humperdinck.
I love that song.
Great song.
Great song.
And then I turned to the band. My uncle left the stage, and I said to the band, you guys know Blue Suede Shoes? And he goes, yeah, why? I said, I want to sing it. And I was the guy's nephew. They couldn't tell me no. You know.
Yeah.
So he goes, what key? And I go, what's a key? I don't know what a key was. And I did it, and I wound up doing it 3 or 4 times that night. I made like $300 in tips.
Wow.
And I thought it was because I was good. It was because I was Mitty's nephew, and my mother was the co-check girl.
Right.
So people just kept throwing money at me. And then I wound up singing in nursing homes and hospitals for about a year and a half. And then when I was 16, I did a show. And then from there, it just grew.
Huh. That's
amazing. So
amazing.
March makes, what year is this?
2018.
March makes 39 years from when I
Holy
first stepped on
crap.
stage. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now, did you have any type of like training, formal training? Like, how did that happen?
No.
You just sat at home and started singing and practiced and just got up there and
Every day I would take my mother's broom, hanging around my neck.
That's great.
I would take her full-length mirror, and I'd go upstairs and I would just mimic Elvis in front of the mirror. And then one day it just happened. I was very lucky. My voice matured when I was young. So at 14, I was able to sing mostly anything that Elvis did.
Okay.
Because I had a full voice. I wasn't squeaky or nothing. But
that's good.
No, you know, people tell you if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
You know. And if you can't sing, you can't sing. It doesn't matter how much lessons you have.
That's true.
You know, but I'm not a singer. I'm an entertainer. It's different for me. You know, my wife says I got a good voice. Okay, I got a good voice. But I think it's the show. I think it's the way I present myself, the way I dress. I like to wear nice shirts and nice sport jackets. I don't go on stage with short sleeves and a tank top. It's not me. I like to try to bring back the days of Vegas and the Copa when people would get dressed up. You know, you're paying me a good dollar.
Yep.
Or you're paying a good dollar to come see me.
You should be entertained.
I got to be more than what you see on the street corner somewhere. And it's working.
Well, that's also, you know, it's old school, you know, that's the whole thing is that nobody cares anymore. Like people go out in pajamas, which don't get me wrong. I enjoy going out in my pajamas too when I drive my kid to school or something.
Right.
But
they go into the store in pajamas.
Right. But I'm just saying like, yeah. And that it's just different. Like remember you used to get on an airplane, you used to get dressed up to go on an airplane, right? Like,
well,
Well, my
I would
grandmother,
dress. Yeah.
my grandmother was dressed.
My
when she
father
would
was
go
dressed, and
on
my
a-
stepfather,
on an
yeah.
airplane or whatever. So I'm just saying it's a different, time.
Oh, without a doubt.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's amazing, though, that you just were able to grab that and run with it. I mean, obviously, you practiced a lot, right? Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
how you strengthened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't call yourself a singer, okay, but you're still, like you said, you're an entertainer. But I've heard you can, you're a great singer.
Well,
so,
thank you for that.
I mean, it's all... I'm checking my
Yeah.
internet. I know, and the internet's getting wacky. Again, I apologize if we are breaking for any reason. We have a tornado watch over here, and unfortunately, I think it is affecting the internet. So I do apologize for that. So now, besides, your being an entertainer, you are a businessman as well?
I am.
Have you always had businesses as well, or you're just venturing into something new at this point?
Do you consider selling Christmas trees on the corner during Christmas time a business? Yes.
If you have a shoelace around your head while you're doing it, no, I'm kidding.
I've always been a businessman. I mean, like I said, I had paper routes and chocolate routes, and then I sold trees, sold fireworks. We do what we got to do.
That's a business, man.
Yeah.
But wait, so Rob Machetta had posted something, and he said not to forget
chicken palm.
Talk about the chicken palm. Where?
The best chicken palm at Louis Seafood on Tremont Avenue.
So did you work there?
Oh, many times.
Oh, okay, because I wasn't understanding what he meant by that. Okay.
So when entertainers perform, they have what's called a rider. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
All right. So my
Why
rider.
don't you tell everybody what it is?
For the people that don't know, a rider is your perks and what you want. And I would go into places after other singers, and my rider would consist of a clean dressing room, a gallon of water, and a chicken parmesan hero at Louis Seafood. When other people wanted scotch and this and that, so that became the running joke with me and Louis Seafood.
Okay.
So,
I got
and they happen to be the best chicken parm in the Bronx.
Okay, all right.
Which they're no longer there, unfortunately. We still love them.
Aww.
Hey guys, what's up? Good to see you. A lot of high school friends here.
See, well, right now, Gene is on his Facebook Live. I've been trying, but the internet here is just not cooperating. So I'm just happy that I have the internet on here, and you're recording it. So we have, and I will have it for the Mixcloud as well.
I've always been a businessman, and then as I got older, my brother and I opened a pizzeria, and we sold it. And I had laundromats, and we sold them.
So that's a business, man. That's what I was asking you.
Yeah, and then we got into the bar business about 19 years ago. We opened our first bar on Yonkers Avenue. And at the time, I was doing a lot of singing, and I was traveling. So me and my brother came to an agreement. Why don't you take the bar, and I'll go back to performing.
Okay.
And then just recently, a couple of years ago, my brother and I, we were starting to put our heads together. And we had a couple of ideas. Oh, flopped you down. And we're back in business together with what I hope to be a successful, much-needed business, especially in the Westchester area.
Now, you want to tell us a little bit about that. What is the name of it?
Well, the name of it is called Central Stage, and it's a showroom. It's an event space. It's an event venue. It's not a bar. It's not a restaurant. It's something... We like to call it the Copacabana of Westchester County. We have a 30-foot stage. We have disco lights. We have all the equipment. We have 200 chairs.
Okay.
Cocktail tables.
Okay.
So we're pushing the shows. It's where people, we want you to get a little dressed up. You don't have to. But if you feel like you want to, you're not going to feel out of place.
Right. Well, again, I think that's a good thing. Right?
Oh, I do too.
We all want to. I always want a reason to put on cute shoes.
Exactly.
But now, so that everybody kind of understands, because I know you and I had talked about this a little bit, and I wanted to share it with everyone so they understood as well.
Right.
So from what you were saying to me is, I remember you were comparing it, like you were saying the Westchester Dinner Theater,
right? And
then you were saying Westchester Dinner and something else that was on the complete opposite end of that, and you were trying to be somewhere in the middle of that, and I forgot what you said.
Well, I think it's between a bar,
right,
restaurant, and the Westchester Broadway Theater. You like a certain restaurant in Westchester, go to it, and then at 9:00, come to me and watch a show.
So now so basically it's not a place like we're not going there if we're hanging out at night. We're not coming there at 1 o'clock in the morning to have a drink.
No, we'll be closed.
Okay. So yeah. So now what? So basically you're doing shows, ticketed shows.
Yeah, ticketed events.
Ticketed
We
events.
do have some dance nights that we're going to be doing to fill in the calendar, like freestyle and classic disco and stuff like that. But we'd like to make it a ticketed event place.
Okay.
And also a place where acts can finally get the pay they deserve. You know, so many times you go to a place and being that I'm on both sides of the spectrum.
Right.
Well, this is my budget. And I say, well, how do you know what your budget is? Well, how many people do you bring? Well, I could bring 2 people. If one guy orders a $12,000 bottle of wine, that's still my guy.
Right.
So we're trying to work out deals with certain bands and certain acts to say, listen, we know you get big money. Why don't you come in a little cheaper, work somewhat of a door deal, look at all we're doing advertising-wise, and try to make it work. We'll bring you back 6 times a year. You know, a lot of bands, they play, a lot of shows, they're in the summer concert series. Well, what do you do from October to May? Where are you playing? Come to us.
Right, that's true. That's a slow time.
You know? And a lot of shows that we're going to bring in don't go to the Westchester Dinner Theater. You know? So we're trying to meet the demand, create a demand, and somewhere go in the middle. It's not expensive.
Right.
I mean, I do have some acts that are going to be up there, but it's a 200-seat room. You're going to be sitting 15 to 20 feet away from your favorite performer. You know, we're talking about maybe getting Bobby Rydell, who was a 60s teen idol.
Right.
You could go see him in Westbury. There's 3,000 people.
Right.
You're 30 rows behind.
Right.
For $65.
Right.
So for another $30, let's say I sell a ticket for $95, and I give you a drink or I give you finger foods.
Right.
Isn't it worth it coming to where you live?
And not have to worry about parking, right? You have a parking lot.
300 spots.
Yeah,
We're going to have valet parking.
That's huge, too.
We're going to have valet parking. Yeah, we're on Central Avenue. And not only do you see these people up close, you could talk to them afterwards. And see, that's what I'm telling everybody. Will you stick around for 15, 20 minutes after the show and talk to our people?
Right.
And everybody's been pretty good so far. Yeah, whatever, we'll hang around. So it's been working.
Well, you know, I think that, like you said, you know, the hard thing about doing something that hasn't been done before is it's hard to do something that hasn't been done before. You know, when I had my salon, you know, I called it Drama, as I had told you.
Yeah, that's a great name.
And yeah, well, because I said in my life, all I ever have in my life is drama. And I'm a dramatic person, but I am not a drama person. Like, I don't do drama. I can't stand drama, but I am dramatic.
There's a difference.
Things, right? And I was in Eastchester, Scarsdale, which is, you know, a pretty frou-frou area, right? And I was like, you know, now everybody's doing blue and all these colors in their hair. But years ago, that was me. I had all these different colors in my hair. I had these Kiss boots on. The platform was like this big. And the people in Eastchester and Scarsdale used to look at me like who the hell I was.
You had 4 heads.
Yeah. So now it was funny, though, because, you know, I thought that there was a demand for it because that area is still very, like, a lot of the people in that area that work in that area are Manhattan people.
Right.
Okay? So they have that funky, you know, like it was just that funky edge or whatever, and it just, the people that came loved it and stayed and wanted all this crazy fun stuff. Not that I didn't do normal stuff. But then, but it never really grabbed.
Sometimes the area doesn't accept the ideas.
Yeah. And that's what happens. I mean, even, you know, in this, you know, wherever you are, you see so many places that the same place goes out and comes back as a different place 16 times. And you say, but what's wrong with that particular spot?
It's just not going to work.
Maintain it.
You know, it's like we just had a pizzeria close, a franchise pizzeria, not a regular mom and pop store.
Okay.
A franchise pizzeria. And then another franchise came in, and I said, well,
what's going to be the difference?
Yeah. Oh, I make a better pizza. Yeah, but maybe the area doesn't call for that.
Right.
You know, we're still an area. We're not a college town, the Bronx, you know, Tremont Avenue. Maybe kids today like Domino's and Papa John's. Oof. I know I'm not. Exactly. Oof. And that's good for them.
Yeah.
You know.
Cardboard.
Exactly.
Cardboard with ketchup on it.
So, you know, you can have a great idea in Du Bois, Iowa or Kansas City, Missouri. It doesn't go in the Bronx, New York, or Eastchester, New York, or
it's true, and it's
Bohemia,
what it's all
Long
about.
Island, Smithtown, Long Island. It just doesn't go.
It's what it's all about. But also, I think with your shows and what you're trying to accomplish, it's a different crowd. So you're not going for the millennials and all that. You want us. You want us old people.
Well, I want mature.
Yes.
And that means somebody that's 25 that was brought up in that,
like a human.
that was brought up with their parents in the music. They could be 20, 25 years old. You know how many?
Absolutely.
You have no idea how many kids parties I do as Elvis.
Oh, really?
Oh my!
That's
A couple of years ago, they asked their 3-year-old son, "What do you want, a Power Ranger or a Mickey Mouse?" Because I want Elvis.
I love it.
And they made me wear a certain outfit with the eagle because
that was
he was wearing his eagle outfit.
I love it. That's great. See, I love to hear that.
I think his name was Forrest, like Forest Green. He was in Jersey, and it was great. There were certain things that are timeless and never going to die. Elvis, Sinatra, the Beatles.
Yeah, but
will it be as widely accepted? No.
I don't know. I mean, you don't want that to die, but
No.
You're right. Like it's up to us. It's up to our generation to make sure it doesn't die, right? Because like I grew up with that, and that's what I was saying. Like I know every Frank Sinatra song. I know all that stuff. And, I grew up to that. My father used to torment me, playing it. My father always played jazz. He played, Janis Joplin.
Right.
I mean, I can sing them all. Every Frank Sinatra song I know, out my mother. I never forgot my mother cried when Elvis died. And I remember as a kid not understanding why she was crying because I'm like, but you don't know him.
Right.
Like, but there was that
There was a connection, right.
That just like, I guess as we all grow, people migrate to these entertainers because, the truth of the matter is an entertainer brings you away from
reality.
Your normal. Right,
it's supposed to.
Hopefully.
Today it don't.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
There's something about wholesomeness, whether you lived it or whether you yearn for it, that attracts people. Older people come to my shows because they want to reminisce when times were simpler.
Yeah.
Younger people come to my shows because they want to know what's the fuss.
Right.
And the people that are in the middle, like my age, they just want to be entertained.
Well, I think, like you said, we want real, and that has a lot to do with it too. Is just that substance.
Absolutely.
Right, the substance.
There's no computer generated vocals with Elvis and Sinatra and guys like that.
That's true, right? I mean, you could do your echoes or whatever, I guess, but there's not much that can be done with that.
Right.
I'm looking
Hi,
here.
guys.
I see that on here. I'm afraid I might have lost connection. I just saw an alert on my phone that thousands are without power after the storm that tore through. So
where? Up here?
Here, Hudson Valley. Yeah. So I apologize if you guys we're going in and out with you. There was a terrible storm, and for all we know, the world could be at an end outside.
And we're in the studio and have no.
We're inside of the studio and don't know. But if we have gone out, again, I apologize. It is probably not your fault. It is probably. It's not my fault.
No, it's not. We're going to have to do this again. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
We can always do it again. Yeah. Maybe we'll do it again, and maybe we'll do it at your place. And
well, sure.
Maybe I'll make you sing.
Why not? Also, my place is called Central Stage.
Yep.
Which I think is a great name. And it's on...
it's very apropos.
Oh, yeah. And the website is centralstage.rocks. ROCKS. My brother picked it out. He thought it was cool because we're having...
Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully in the next 150 million years, it'll catch on.
Only 150 million, huh?
Well, we're doing a lot of advertising, on the web, Bronx papers, Westchester papers. So,
Do people read papers again?
Oh, yeah.
Do they?
Sure.
Because I know you were saying something. You were asking me about flyers, and I said, does anybody even look at a flyer? And
you know what they do? They take the flyer and they put it on a refrigerator. Well,
That's true.
They still want a tangible...
That's true.
Piece of paper.
Although, like, I have the stainless steel refrigerator, and the
nothing
only place
sticks.
you can do it
it's
is
on
the
side
of the refrigerator. So now I have like 3,700 pictures on the side, and then that's it. Yeah, we are really we may have to. I see it's struggling to come back. We're connecting again.
Well, you're gonna have to go and watch the recorded version.
Well, yes, I do record this, and I put it on the Mixcloud, and I will share it for you so that everybody can hear it, because hopefully that's it's recording in its entirety.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this is just, I wonder, there must be some craziness going on out there.
No. For second day of fall, it's going to happen.
I know, right? The second. Now, I just want to make sure that we're connected, because this is not cute that this is happening.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I can't answer you because we're holding the phone up.
He's
So
not allowed to talk.
Not allowed to
He's
talk,
not allowed
but
to answer.
message me and I'll get back to you. Hi,
Yes,
Linda. I got two Lindas. Hi, Linda and Linda.
Listen, we all appreciate you guys much for listening and for supporting. Because without everybody that listens and supports, we would be talking to ourselves.
You know,
right?
I say that a lot, and when I do my shows, and I'm really a humble person, and I'm so grateful that people take time out of their lives to come see me. Because I say, no matter how good you think I am, without you, I'd be singing to chairs and tables.
That's right.
And, you know, I have an Oprah quality in my body. If I ever hit lotto, I'm paying for everybody's dinner that comes to see me.
That's awesome.
You know, and so many entertainers take people for granted.
Yep.
And I don't know why.
Because ego takes over, and you know, everybody thinks they're the best, which you should think that you're the best
to a degree,
right? But by also being humble, as well, because you're only as good as the last song you sang,
exactly,
or the last show you did,
right,
or however you want to put that.
You're right.
Because that's not how life goes.
Yeah, you know, being in the Elvis business, so many guys, when they hear that applause, they think it's for them.
Yeah,
and it's not.
I see what you mean.
You know, somebody posted. Somebody posted the other day. A tribute is not about being better than the legend. It's about bringing attention to the legend. And I think so many guys that my peers, guys that I'm in business with, forget that we're there for one reason: to make people remember how great of a performer Elvis was. And that's Elvis or Sinatra, whatever you do, it's to make people realize how great they were. So be humble and appreciate your crowds, because somebody else could come along and steal them anytime they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely true. Anybody out there listening, I want to see if you guys have us on.
Well, Mike, we're good here.
You're good there.
We got 45, 50 people. Everybody's commenting.
See that? I'm so happy that they are. I'm not sure.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that.
What's going on on my end on Miami Mike Radio?
EJ, my friend EJ's.
Mike, look at Mike Bello too.
Yeah, EJ's beating cancer.
God bless.
We sing a gospel song, always for her. So we love you, EJ. And Mike Bello. Mike's been performing with me the past couple of months. And, you know, it's another thing I'm so grateful for. When I do shows, there's always 2 or 3 or 4 other entertainers in my audience. And I always get them up.
That's awesome.
You know? And the last thing an entertainer wants to do on their night off
is
go see another entertainer.
See another one, right.
So when they come to see me, I think it's my duty as a professional to make mention and to get them up. You know, I've been the victim of being disrespected by fellow entertainers. And I tell you, it makes you go home and really wonder, you knew I was there. All right, so you don't want me to sing. No problem. But you don't make mention. And that's how you know who the pros are, who your friends are, and who the rest are. You know?
Well, unfortunately, like I said, a lot of times I think ego gets in the way. I know you and I were talking about, people and performers when I was trying to find people, and you only had kind things to say about everybody. Not, and there's a way to say, you don't say, oh, they're great, even if they're not. I mean, that you can't say because it's your own reputation at that point.
Right.
So there has to be something there, that where it's honest.
But you make your own decision.
Right. And
you know, what's good for me, who I might think is good, you might not. So.
Right. So yeah, and we are definitely having issues on the radio end of things today. I wonder what the heck happened.
Hi, Lori.
Like I said, the must have been from the storm.
There's got to be a tower down.
But like it's weird on my phone. I seem to have, but then I'm not using it, so it's very difficult to see.
Could be a
But
different tower.
the
Yeah.
internet, maybe went down. So I don't know.
Oh, good. Michael Prisco's watching.
Hey, there
Mikey,
he is.
hi. My
There
old
he
friend.
is.
Thank you, Tara.
Now we're this is so let's
Hi, Mara.
just talk into your Facebook.
Yeah,
here,
let's do that.
Let's just finish the show here. Apparently, I'm in bad shape. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
We are not in good shape.
Michael, I know since we're kids. Remember Mike?
Everybody knew Michael.
Yeah, well,
Everybody
he's a
knew
great
Michael.
guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy. My ex-Gabon boyfriend.
I got people commenting on my face because I didn't shave.
Oh,
but they
got
don't.
a little scruff going
Well,
on.
they don't know I'm acting now, so I'm going out for a role in a commercial, and I need a beard. So that's why we're growing the beard until the next big show.
Okay.
So don't criticize. I'm growing a beard for a reason.
Listen, it's all good. Yeah, but you know what? And that's true. In this business, you have to look the part. So, you got to.
Well, that's why I'm happy that I'm doing this variety show now.
Right.
Because I did a show Saturday at Rigoletto's, and I had scruffiness. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I do doo-wop and Bobby Darin and Sinatra and Lionel Richie. It doesn't matter what you look like because it's not part of a show.
Right.
But the
You're
Elvis,
not trying to make that look.
right? The Elvis, you have to look a certain way. Charo, So I'm glad that I broke out into the non-Elvis. It's making me a lot more versatile. I do weddings, I do cocktail hours. Can you do an hour of Sinatra, Tony Bennett? Yeah, Dean Martin, sure. Can you do doo-wop at a dinner dance? No problem. Can you do Elvis? Still love my Elvis.
So you enjoy all of it, though.
There's nothing I'd rather do than have a microphone in my hand. Whether I'm telling
Or next
jokes.
to you.
True.
See, you lost it too.
But, with the acting, it's just another form of entertaining.
Yeah, of course.
So I've had some success with that in the past years. Since I'm only doing it a year, I went to Columbia.
Wow.
I was in a John Gotti TV show called Kingpin, which was on TV.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was on TV Easter Sunday.
Okay.
And then I did a small little thing with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci called The Irishman last year.
Yes.
That'll be out next year. And then I was on TV 3 weeks ago in a show called The Perfect Murder. So I'm doing a lot of docudramas. I got a couple of films that we're getting ready to start. And playing a detective in one. I'm playing street guys in another. When I got to do Shakespeare, then I'll worry about my scruffiness. But
Shakespeare. Yeah, it's always good with Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to remind you guys that you were listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy. We are definitely having technical difficulties today. There is a storm here in New York, and
we're feeling it.
we're feeling the repercussions of it. And apparently, we're fortunate that we have power right now.
Right,
because
at
a lot
least
of
us,
people
yeah.
Don't have power. So.
Well, we're with you. Our prayers are with you. And
Yeah, totally. I'm sorry that this got a little bit botched up because we're gonna have to do it again.
I'd love to.
Because I can see that we are not connected on Miami Mike Radio.
Even that. All right.
Yeah, it's not connected.
All right, so we'll do it again.
I'm surprised I haven't gotten any.
Calls?
Yeah, nobody's, not calls, but a text message like, what
Right.
the heck is going on?
Right.
So I'm pretty sure, though, that we are not on there. But I've been trying, but this is why I'm really cautious of where I do my show from now, because I learned the hard way when something like this happens and it doesn't connect. It doesn't make for the listeners are obviously not going to enjoy it.
Well, they understand.
Anymore. Yeah, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, we're getting right back up there.
Probably see. Well, your people are there. I guess you're not on Wi-Fi. Maybe that's
probably
why
not.
you're.
Oh, it is Dom. We went to Columbia together.
See that?
This is great. He's from Delaware.
Delaware.
Yeah, we got people. Well, we got people from Australia now. Yeah.
See, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah, sure.
Unfortunately, our internet crapped out on us.
That's all right.
It happens.
We make it work.
It happens. Well, anyway, let's tell. And I know I need to look in my phone for it because I don't want you to go out of your thing.
That's Karen, Frankie Hudak. He's a comedian. He works for us, and he's going to be doing shows. And he's actually he was at my bachelor party, unannounced.
unannounced.
Yeah, he happened to be working the club. My brother threw me a bachelor party at a comedy club in the city.
Oh, nice.
And Frankie was doing a show next door, and he found out I was there, and he came in. He did 5 minutes, and then he threw the mic on the floor, told me I owed him $100, and ran out.
Nice. That's a good friend. All right.
Thank you,
So,
Denise.
well, while we have everybody here on Facebook
Yeah.
Live, and I am unable to get back on Miami Mike Radio.
Yeah.
Friday, October. So here are some of the upcoming events.
Oh, yeah, this is, I tell you, between my brother and I, we have really picked a great bunch of people. On the 5th, we're starting with, that's the 12th.
That's the 12th.
Yeah.
I don't have the 5th.
On the 5th, we have probably one of the best party bands in the country, FDR Drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're fabulous. Then on October 14th, I put together what's called Festa Italiano, which is going to be a dinner show.
Okay.
$50. You get an Italian buffet, a glass of wine, and 3 entertainers. You get Freddie Lando, who does the best Pavarotti and Bocelli in the world. You have Louis Veneria, who's an actor from A Bronx Tale and The Sopranos, who does like Sinatra and Bobby Darin and Tony Bennett. And then you have 3 girls who probably are going to tear the house down. Trey Bella, lovely girls. So that's on October 14th, 5 o'clock. Then October 20th, we have a doubleheader. 7 o'clock, we have Jackie the Joke Man Martling from the Howard Stern Show, who always draws a big crowd. Mm-hmm. And then after that, at 10 o'clock, we have Angry Young Men, probably one of the best Billy Joel tributes in the country. And then on October 26th, we have Dancing Dream, who does an ABBA show.
Okay.
And right after them, we're going to have a DJ with Classic Disco Night.
Nice.
And then on the 27th, Saturday, the 27th, we have a doo-wop show with the Bel Airs from the Bronx. Again, $50 a head, dinner, a glass to drink, either beer or wine, and the show. Where are you going for $50 to have food, a glass of wine, and a show?
Nowhere.
And it's all on centralstage.rocks.
That's where we're going.
That's where you're going.
We're going to Central Stage.
Centralstage.rocks. And every month, that's October.
Right.
And every month, I'm going to try to do something a little special. So,
I like special.
Special's good. And all I need is for people to share the post. Tell your friends. If you can't make it, please share the post. You never know. Some of your friends might be able to go.
Absolutely.
You know?
They might enjoy whatever it is that's going on.
And when we do the shows, it's only 150 seats.
Okay.
So tickets you should buy in advance, because if you think you're going to come to the door, you might be out of luck.
Right.
So, and we're going to have a dance floor. So if it's disco, you can dance. Oldies, you can dance. And I'd like to think it's a real pretty place. And we're going to do more. Mm-hmm. We're going to do more decorating and try to make it look like a real Copacabana from.
I love it.
It was great.
I love it.
You know, we also have escape rooms.
What does that mean?
Well, escape rooms are when people go into a room with a theme, and you give them the first clue, and they got to find other clues to get out.
Oh my.
Yeah. So we have
an claustrophobic.
Yeah.
My throat just closed up. I was like, what?
So it's Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
But the Tim Burton movie, not the Disney.
Okay.
And we give you the first clue, and let's say the next clue is when I fell, I cracked. And so you look around the room and you see a Humpty Dumpty doll, and you walk over and you pick them up, and there's the next clue.
Okay.
And it's just pure entertainment. And we have dancing. We have a lady named Barbara who's doing dance classes during the day.
Oh, nice.
Ballroom, tango, swing.
Cool.
Country. So we got that. So everything's on the website, centralstage.rocks. Or you go to my website, which is genedinapoli.com. There's a button there. Mm-hmm. And on my website, besides the Elvis and the regular music, you can see what I'm doing acting-wise. And I'm just so happy to do that. I should have done it 20 years ago.
Well, you don't know till you know.
You don't know till you know.
That's what I always say. You don't know till you know.
Exactly.
So you're doing it now.
I'm doing it now.
And it's working. Maybe if you did it 20 years ago, you wouldn't have been
That's what my wife says.
See? Great women think
But
alike.
yes, yeah. And that's what my mother would have said.
You see?
The time is right now.
Yeah, well, everything in life is timing, right?
That's all it ever is.
Could be the right thing at the wrong time and the wrong thing at the right time. You just never know.
Dr. John, it must have been the right place, but it must have been the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, look, we had the right time, but the wrong thing. So.
And I want people to send us emails of who they would like to see at the club. I don't know everybody out there. So
Actually, you do, but
well, yeah,
we'll pretend for this sake that you don't.
certain bands I don't know, rock. But if you know a guy and he could bring a nice crowd and we could all make a few dollars, hey, I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because that's the whole thing is that since you're trying to do something
An
that
event
hasn't
space.
quite been done before.
I wonder
this
who
area.
told me the word event venue. I
I
wonder who.
Must have been another really smart person.
It's still the same one.
Still the same one.
I give kudos to Karen. She came up with that.
Well, I want you guys to be successful.
Well,
and,
thank
and
you.
I try to help, as best as I can to make those things happen. And if there's, you said to me when we were talking, if I don't know, like I said, when I had my business, if I didn't know what was wrong, I couldn't fix it.
Right.
So a lot of times people don't want to hear it because they want to think they know everything.
Oh, no. My brother and I, we take advice. We don't like it to come in the form of criticism.
Right. Advice
But
and criticism are two different things.
We built it to what we thought we wanted. Doesn't mean we're right or wrong. But if somebody comes up with an idea, we're all for it.
Right. Right.
I think that's what's going to be our saving grace is that we are going to listen to the public to a degree.
Right.
Ultimately, we're the ones paying the rent and we're the ones paying the bills, so it's our decision. But we are going to listen with open ears.
Well, that's the thing. You have to have an open mind because everybody. But like you said, you could have the place, and I could be sweating, and the person next to me could be freezing.
Right.
You can't make everybody.
Oh, you can't make everybody happy, but you try.
But you can at least find a common denominator
Right.
where if you have a good time there, those things don't really matter.
Exactly.
You would say the next time, if I'm too hot, I'll wear less clothes, and if the person
Vice
next
versa.
to me was too cold, then they bring a freaking
Right.
coat and call it a day.
Right.
So
I've got big plans. Next year, we're looking to do car shows on the roof.
that's cool.
Yeah, car shows with a tiki bar, hot dogs and hamburgers, a live band.
Wow. We're
You
gonna
know-
get Michael Prisco to come so he can wax daddy with the
Mikey.
the cars. Mikey.
And we got to get
come
him to
up.
sing.
Yeah.
Not only wax, that he can sing,
Yeah.
So we have some really great plans. We just want to see that there's an interest.
No, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's, you know what? You just got to keep throwing them out there, and if you make it, they will come, right?
Build it, they will come.
Yeah, I make it, build it, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Well, I'm going to say that we will have to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
Because the internet,
In better weather.
Yeah, the internet just crapped out on us completely. So I couldn't even get it on Facebook Live. I didn't
Wow.
get it on the radio. Thank God your thing is
Yeah.
working. Hi,
There you are.
everybody. Thank you so much for being patient. And
Our friends from Canada here.
yeah,
The
see that?
Katalinskis. Woohoo!
Listen, and if you guys,
Chicago.
everybody on here that's watching, KarenStacy.com.
Yeah, support my friend.
STACY. And it's Real Talk with Karen Stacy. So I have Facebook pages and groups and all that stuff. Very heavy rain. Dennis
Really,
just said.
Denise, yeah.
Oh, Denise, I'm sorry, I can't.
Can you
see.
imagine this is dressed down? Imagine what she looks like when she dresses up. The hair's that beautiful.
Really?
Because she's a Bronx girl.
Woohoo!
Except for my wife's Queens girl, just as beautiful. Sorry,
That's it.
sorry, hon.
There you go. Of course.
Bad
Always.
storm.
Props to the missus.
Oh, Gary just had hip replacement.
You see,
Good luck, Gary. Love you, buddy.
You guys will have to tune in again.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see either, I don't know what the dates are at this point, but maybe next week or the week after. Because I have
I'm
Dory
good.
and Tia coming.
I'm good,
'cause
yeah.
We're going to talk about the Frank Sinatra thing they're doing
Yeah,
up there.
sure.
On the 20th.
Yeah, all my friends, write into Karen when
I'm
you want to see
hosting.
us again.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, friend request me, Karen Stacy, or also, like I said, Real Talk with Karen Stacy. Jump on the group page, whatever. And yeah, when me and Gene may actually be doing something too.
Not maybe, definitely.
Okay, see, I like that. We'll be doing something too. So you guys will have to come in and support with
So
that
you
as
got to
well.
come. October 13th, I'm at Rigoletto's on Arthur Avenue. I'm there once a
The
month.
13th is a Saturday, right?
Yeah. Well, you
What,
see,
day or night?
Oh, night. Well,
Well, I'm just trying
who am I going to sing to during the day?
I don't know. People eat during the day.
Then October 19th, I'm at San Martino
Oh, that's
with my Elvis
that's
show.
over here, right?
Yonkers on Jackson Avenue.
In the YO.
And Halloween,
Yeah.
I'm at Resorts World in Queens with my Elvis show with my live band.
That's so cool. Wait, as in the day of Halloween?
No, at nighttime, 8 o'clock.
Meaning Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
Okay.
And I'm going to dress up as Gene Dinapoli.
No
Not
way.
Elvis.
No
I'm gonna do a flip flop.
No way. Awesome.
I got friends from Australia.
I'm
Sonia,
gonna dress up like
Sonia.
Karen Stacy. Maybe I'll come as Gene.
That's going to be one for Facebook Live.
That it would be. All right. Well, we'll sign off now.
Yep.
And thank everybody for
Their
patience with
yes.
the
Their
internet.
understanding.
And we apologize for the mishmash of stuff here. But stay tuned. And we will do this again. And Gene will let you know.
Yep.
I will let you know. And thank you for listening to Real
That's
Talk
right.
with Karen Stacy.
That's it.
And tuning in with my new friend now, Gene Dinapoli.
Sonia wants us to come to Australia.
Oh, well,
Get us a gig.
Let's go. Yeah, I'll host it.
Yeah, I'll
does
perform.
It, I host
That's it.
He
Love
will-
you, everybody.
We'll
Be
do it.
safe. God bless you. If you're
Yes,
driving,
if you're over
go
here,
home.
Please be careful. Yeah, you too.
And check out GeneDinapoli.com. I love you all. You're the best.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.